I'm going to share today about remaining thankful and even in a posture of praise when you're having a bad day or a bad month. And I'm sharing this specifically today because some of you may know the last couple of years of my life personally have been pretty rough. I'm a glass half full kind of person. And so it's really easy for me a lot of times to just look the other way, just always finding something positive about the situation or the hour or the day or whatever the case is. But I'll tell you, today some things came to a head, and I just personally became inundated with this feeling of when are these particular things going to get better. And I think that it was accentuated by feeling recently feeling like, God, what am I, am I praying wrong? Do I have the wrong attitude? Do I, some of the things that we typically go through, um, when we're asking why, right? And I don't often ask why. I ask what. But I thought I would share with you today while I'm in this space. So often when I teach, when other people teach, by the time that we teach, we're not just trying to get rid of that glare for you guys. We're not in that space anymore, right? It's theoretical. I'm in that space right now. I'm grasping at straws with a couple of things, with a handful of things. Any one of them, it might, that glass half full principle, be pretty easy to walk through. And yet when they've all come together today, I'm like, God, what? So I want to share with you some thoughts. The first one is going to be theoretical. This is something that probably last year I really made an effort to do. And I'll read you a passage. It's Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2. Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. The phrase that really stands out to me, and I use just a different word, and I don't know if this was in a different translation, but looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. And I think of it as setting my eyes on Jesus, the author and finisher of my faith. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because that's an act, right? That when things are going wrong around us, it's not a matter of sitting back and waiting for something to change, but there is an act involved in changing our focus. And my act is I'm going to set my eyes on Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. And just looking at it, Hebrews chapter 12, let me look at verse 1 as well. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, right? And let us lay aside every weight. Let us lay aside. That's an act. We lay it aside. So if I laid aside my cap, if I laid aside a loaf of bread, that is an act. So I lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, then let us run with patience the race that is set before us. So many of the things that come against us, I believe a lot of them, it's not always the enemy's fault, but I think a lot of times the enemy will stack things up against us so that we miss the mark, so that we miss the calling that God has placed on us. So as I was going through this morning, just really being in a woeful state. And Lord, what, how? When are you going to come through? When are you going to fix this? Or when are you going to show me how to fix this? Really, really crying out. The thought came into my mind, well, wait a second. What are some of the things that he's done for me this year that maybe I haven't even asked for? Because see, here's the thing. The last couple of years, I have really gotten away, right or wrong, I have gotten away from asking the Lord to do things. I have really gotten into a posture of just getting into his presence and praising him and asking him for wisdom and guidance and submitting to his will. And I will ask him for some things, but God, really wrestling with this, God, what do I have to do? What's the right posture? What am I missing in talking with you? What am I missing in my prayers? The thought popped into my head, okay, well, what are some of the things that God has done for you this last year that you, for the most part, haven't even asked for? And so I started writing in my journal. I'm going to count them. I wrote down 1, 2, 3. I really asked for that one. And I asked for that one. I'm just going to count the ones. I'll just count all the things. And this isn't all of them, but I'll count the things because some of these I asked for, some of them I didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. And I think all of these have happened, except a couple of them, closeness and trust with God I put in there. But did I count 32 or 33? I think it's 33 items, almost every one of which have occurred this year, within the last 12 months, and most of these within the last 6 months. So what a perspective shift. I say, wait a second, God, would I trade any of these for today's solution? Right. And here's the thing. Yes, today is frustrating. Yes, today is frustrating on multiple counts. But when it comes to the big picture, I'm not sure there's a single thing on this list that I would trade for solving today's challenge. And it's not like I don't believe he's going to solve it tomorrow or the next day or maybe even later today. I believe maybe it'll be next week. But would I change a single thing? And I think that sometimes we have to shift our focus to a place of thanksgiving. To a place of thanksgiving. Because as soon as I came to a place of thanksgiving, Father, thank you for these 33 different things that I wrote out. My mindset shifted. And it doesn't change today's circumstance. And it doesn't change some of the pain that goes along with today's circumstance. But I'm thinking of a couple other verses that I want to share with you. I really wanted to share this with you from an experiential perspective. What does somebody like me do that tends to have his glass half full? So often when you see me, I'm smiling. Somebody came up to me the other day and said, I appreciate how every single time I see you, you're smiling. He says, that means a lot to me, and here's why. He goes, because I know you're not having a good day every single day. He says, and so what that tells me is that even though you're not always having a good day, that when your role, you put a smile on and you say hi to me, and that means something to me. And he said, that means to me that the next time I'm not having a great day, I can still be smile and be kind to the next person, right? So that's just my nature. And a lot of times I think when people see that nature, they think that things are always Pollyanna with me. And so it's very, very rare that I feel as down as I do today. And so I just thought it was a very appropriate time to record this because what you're getting is from the place of despair, the place of the pit. Philippians chapter 4, verse 5 says, be careful for nothing. Basically, don't worry about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be known unto God. You see, when I woke up this morning, and probably for the last couple of days, I've been taking these things to the Lord with this attitude of like, why haven't you fixed this? And it's not exactly that, but like, God, why can't I have this answer? Please give me the answer. What am I doing wrong? And yet, when I shifted my focus in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, I said, Lord, these 33 things that I've listed out, thank you, Lord, for doing these 33 things for me. And if you've done those 33 things for me, aren't you going to do this one or two other thing? I believe you for it. I believe you for it. And then it continues in Philippians 4:7. It says, and the peace of God, which passes all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. So basically, 7 follows 6. Don't worry, everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be known. And then The result of that is that the peace of God, which passes all understanding, should keep your hearts and minds. We have this promise that his peace will keep us. And it continues. I'm tempted to read the next verse, verse 8. It says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever thing of good report, if there be any virtue and there be any praise, think on these things. That's my responsibility. That's a step. That's not something that happens to me. So many times we look around for the world to do things to us, and if the world does something good to us, we feel good, and if somebody does something bad to us, we feel bad. This is something we do. We think on these things. I'm going to share one more verse with you, and then I think we'll wrap this up. This isn't designed to be so much of a teaching. I don't feel like teaching today, but just to give you a window into my own soul when I'm having a really bad day. Okay, because and it's not even that I'm having a bad day. Other good things have happened today. How do you call something a bad day when good things and bad things occur? It's not a day. It's my own mentality, right? It's my own mentality. Whatever's causing it, it's my own mentality. It's not the day. How dare I blame the day for how I feel right now? How dare I blame the day? The day doesn't have anything to do with it. The day the sun comes up, the sun comes down. The day doesn't have anything to do with it. I like this passage, Psalm 27, verse 8. When thou saidst, seek ye my face, my heart said unto thee, thy face, Lord, will I seek. How often can we just seek his face, just for his face? Not for what he's going to do for us, not for what he's going to give us, but can we just imagine seeking his face, seeking the face of Jesus, seeking the face of God, seeking the face of the Father? What if we just step into his presence and we don't want anything from him? Now, here's the thing. If we spend time with him, no matter what we don't want from him, we're still going to get something from him. We're still going to get his presence. We're still going to get his love. We're still going to get his peace. All of those things are going to happen. So folks, I don't have the answers. I don't have the answers. I don't have all the answers. I don't have the answers. But I wanted you to see behind the scenes today, on a day when I'm personally struggling, that the answer for me has been 2 or 3-fold. One is to just put my eyes on him. The other is to make a list of the 33 things, and it's not exhaustive. I made that list in like 5 minutes. I'm sure if I took the time, I could probably come up with 30 more. But 33 things he's done for me this year, some of which, or maybe even most of which, I didn't ask him for, right? He just did them because he loves me, because he delights in me. And then keeping our eyes on Jesus and realizing that if he doesn't do anything, we have his presence. And we love him, and he loves us. He loves you, and he loves me, and he loves us, and he loves us together. And I could go on and on and on, but I just stop it right there. Take some time with Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith.